You're about to overpay for a 9mm, and you won't even realize it. Same performance, same reliability, completely different price. And most people still pick the expensive one, thinking that's the safe move. It's not. It's just more money for the same result. That's the trap right now. And I saw it happen a couple weeks ago. A guy at the counter dropped way more than he needed to, then asked if it was worth it. Nobody answered him, because deep down, everyone knew the truth. And in the last 30 days, it shifted even more. A few pistols dropped in price, others didn't. So what used to make sense earlier this year, it doesn't anymore. Now you can easily spend more and get nothing extra. So here's the rule. If it doesn't clearly outperform its price, it's not value. If you wouldn't trust it under pressure, the price doesn't matter. This list is built on that. 7 9mm pistols that actually make sense in July 2026. And the last one makes a lot of smart buys look stupid. Most folks don't even think Beretta when they hear budget, but that's the twist with the APX A1 Compact right now. In July 2026, this thing is sitting hundreds below the guns people still default to, and it is still a real Beretta. I remember seeing one tucked behind the glass at a small shop last month. Guy walked right past it to eye the flashy stuff, until the dealer leaned in and said, "That one's been moving faster than you'd think." Sure enough, he picked it up, and a week later, I saw him back on the line, running mag after mag with a grin. And that's the part that doesn't make sense. People are still paying Glock money for the same job when this one is doing it for less. Striker fired, modular grip, cleaner trigger than pistols twice the price, and the reliability that made Beretta famous. The only reason it stays quiet is because the looks are polarizing and the aftermarket is thinner. This wasn't in this price range earlier this year. The drop is recent, and it won't stay here forever. You want a pistol that proves affordable, don't gotta mean cheap. The APX A1 Compact does just that. If you skip it this month, you're not being picky. You're just overpaying. The CZ-P10C is the definition of divided opinions right now. A local gunsmith down in Dallas told me he still sees people walk past it because their brain remembers the old price lane. Makes you wonder if the market finally caught up, or if people just refuse to update their mental price tag. On paper, it should be one of the smartest buys of July 2026. Solid ergonomics, optics ready, a trigger that actually does something, and that check reliability reputation. That's what pulled me in, even with guys still treating it like last year's mid-tier gun. I've paid for that stubbornness before, chasing newer, flashier, more expensive pistols that never gave me the same consistency. Then I ran the P10C next to 2 newer guns that cost more, and that's where it got annoying. The CZ didn't feel cheaper. It didn't feel behind. It tracked clean, broke clean, and kept giving me the same result, while the others try to justify their price tags. That's what makes it dangerous right now. The market has priced it like people forgot what it is. Buddies who used to laugh at the price now quietly ask to shoot it and don't want to give it back. If you're seeing this in July 2026, don't let the price climb back before you make a move. And if this feels like strong value, the next one could rewrite what value even means. Most people don't notice the shift right away. They laugh first. A couple guys at the range were passing around a PSA Dagger Compact like it was a joke. Cheap feel, range toy, nothing you'd actually trust. One of them ran a mag through it, shrugged, set it down like it proved his point, then it kept coming back out. Different hands, faster strings, no one babying it. And that same dagger just kept cycling. No hesitation, no weird hiccups, nothing to figure out. It didn't need that usual break-in phase where you're waiting for the gun to prove itself. It just started working. So I grabbed it expecting to find the catch. Pushed it harder, mixed ammo, rushed draws, sloppy grip, the kind of stuff that usually exposes something early. But it didn't slow down. At some point, I stopped testing it and just ran it, and that's when it hit me. This thing earns trust faster than it should. Right now, July 2026, You're seeing these everywhere, and they're still sitting in that sweet spot before people start taking them seriously. Easy to get. Consistent. No weird gamble where you hope you got a good one. That matters more than people admit. And yeah, it still feels basic. Triggers nothing special. Finish isn't winning any awards. It reminds you exactly what it is. But that's the part that doesn't sit right. Because guns that feel like this usually take time to trust, and this one didn't. I still catch myself waiting for it to slip. Hasn't happened yet, and that's starting to bother me. This was everywhere before. That's what I kept. I went looking for a PX9 Gen 3 a couple back. Figured it'd be easy. First shot one. Wrong setup. Not optic ready. Config I wanted. Didn't think. Second shop, same thing. Different version, but still not it. Stop, I asked up what they had left. I checked, paused, and just started listing on them configs match each other. That's when it clicked. It wasn't gone, just not there the way it used to be. The clean set, the ones people really want weren't sitting anymore. And that, because isn't the name people rush for. Doesn't trust like Glock. Most guys walk without thinking twice. That's exactly why this happens. Year hits, people start looking harder actually getting for the money. And suddenly the budget real features is invisible anymore. Then you don't notice it disappear. You notice your options shrinking. And by July my hands start telling the truth before my brain does. I had the SAR9 Compact Gen 3 out on one of those hot practice days where the truck seat burns your leg, your shirt is sticking to your back, and every draw feels a little uglier than it did in spring. I wasn't trying to make the gun look good. Honestly, I was rushing. Bad grip, lazy reset, pushing the pace because I wanted to see where it got sloppy. That's where it surprised me. The first string wasn't perfect, but the sights came back flatter than I expected. Not soft exactly. More like the gun refused to wander as much as my hands wanted it to. I ran it again, faster, and it kept giving me this weird little correction window. Like I could make a mistake and still clean it up before the target embarrassed me. That's when I understood the value. Not because it's flashy, it isn't. Not because the name makes people lean over the counter, it usually doesn't. But in 2026, when half the carry pistols people talk about either feel too snappy, too tiny, or too expensive for what they give back, this one starts making a quiet argument in your hands. The flaw is still there. It feels a little blocky, a little duty gun serious. Like it doesn't care whether you like it or not, but after that rushed drawstring, I had a worse problem. I couldn't pretend I shot it the same as everything else. 3 voices talking over each other at a counter in Austin this July. Loud enough you couldn't tell who was right, just that nobody agreed. Go smaller. No, get something real. Man, that thing's a toy. One guy kept fighting a tiny pistol. Thumb slipping, slide barely moving. Next to him, another held something bigger, heavier. Looked solid, but he didn't want to run it twice. The counter guy didn't argue. He just set a Smith & Wesson Equalizer down between them. Everything shifted, not silence. Just that moment where people stop talking and start paying attention. The argument didn't end. It just lost confidence. That's when it clicked. Wrong question. Not what looks serious. Not what sounds right. What can you actually run when your hands aren't perfect? Sweaty? Tired? Rushed? I picked up the Equalizer expecting compromise. Something softer. Safer. No. Slide moved without a fight. Grip sat right. Controls didn't ask. They just worked. Not better. Just correct. And that's the part that stuck. Because now everything else felt like it was making you work for no reason. Like you were adapting to the gun instead of the other way around. It doesn't even look the part. No edge, nothing that gets respect to the counter. But after that, this changes what I compare everything else to. And once that happens, everything below it starts feeling like extra work you don't need. That's hard to ignore. And what comes after this doesn't make it easier. It just makes the whole thing harder to justify. I used to pick guns like most people do, what felt solid, what had a name behind it. what looked like it belonged on my belt. That held up until it didn't. It was during a long weekend run, heat pushing past what anyone enjoys, swapping between guns that all felt right on paper. Different brands, different setups, same problem. Every time something small went wrong, I had to work around the gun, adjust grip, fight controls, compensate. Nothing catastrophic, just constant friction. Then the Ruger RXM showed up in the middle of that. No hype, no moment, just another pistol getting passed around. But something about it didn't fit the pattern. Parts swapped without thinking. Setup changed without starting over. It didn't ask me to commit to it. It adapted back. And that's where it broke something for me. I stopped thinking about the gun, started thinking about the system behind it, because every other pistol there, you pick it and you're locked into its logic, its limits, its way of doing things. This one didn't do that. It bent quietly, and once you notice that, you can't go back to choosing the old way. That's the problem. Because now, what feels good isn't enough. What runs well isn't enough. If it doesn't give you room to change, to fix, to evolve with you, it starts feeling temporary, like you're buying something you'll outgrow. I didn't expect that from this. Still don't fully like what it implies, because if this is the smarter way to choose, then a lot of what I trusted before doesn't hold up anymore. Now you've seen what best value actually looks like in July 2026, and what just looks good on a receipt. Some of these gave more than they had any right to for the price. Others made it obvious how easy it is to spend extra and feel smart until you actually run the gun and realize nothing changed except your wallet. That's the part nobody likes admitting. And this window doesn't stay open. Prices move, inventory shifts, and the same pistol that makes perfect sense today turns into a bad buy fast. A couple of these. They won't stay this cheap once people catch on. So what are you seeing right now? What's overpriced and what deal are people missing? I'm Steve. And if you wait too long, you're right back to overpaying again.